The Season 25 playoffs kick off now as we welcome you into the beautiful Pacific Northwest as the Florida Storm travel in to take on the Washington Trident. Mike O'Neill here, Anthony Ellison alongside me in the booth. We've got JW and Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Anthony, great to have you here with me, friend. Let's talk about this. Florida scraped by into the playoffs from a division win, but Washington finishing the season on a 7-1 streak. Florida is playing without Jesus Smith this so far right now. They're going to lose a big piece in the middle of the field on defense, but certainly going to be up against it. What do they have to do tonight to get a win against this Washington Trident?
Florida has to come out, Mike, the same way they did last game with Isaac Covert throwing 3 touchdowns. You have to air the ball out. Yes, Washington's strength is that pass defense, ranked second in the league. But here's the thing, this is the playoffs. There's no game after this guaranteed for you. So you lay it all on the line, you pull your best plays out, and you give it everything you have. This is going to be exciting.
All right, as we get set to kick off, Washington going to be receiving the ball first here at home, and you gotta say, man, Anthony, this crowd is ready for a playoff game here in the Pac Northwest.
Playoff football is built different. The excitement's in the air here. It's all going to be starting off in this first drive.
So let's talk about what Washington's got to do to come out here and really gain control out the gate. Tommy Utah under center, obviously. What do you think they do here as we see Utah under center here? He's got 3 wide receivers, 2 to his left, 1 to his right, and 1 back in the backfield. And Utah's going to hand it off up the middle. Great, nice little run on first down, as that's going to be a handoff to, I believe, Dwayne Salmons.
You're looking for high percentage passes, and the way you do that is you do run the football. Good 5-yard run by Salmons right there, going on the ISO run here is going to set up a unpredictable second down.
Utah, another handoff up the middle. This time it's going to be to Christopher Dean. So good 1-2 punch there, but picking up the first down on the ground is a good statement for Washington.
Yeah, because if you do this early, it's going to set up your play action passes. It's going to set up things in the middle because the linebacker's responsibility is going to be trying to go after the running back.
Utah going to toss it now out to the left, fighting through a couple tackles of Salmons. And looks like we're going to have an injury here on the field early. That's Daniel Wright.
Everybody needs to be healthy in this game, so let's hope that Wright is going to be okay because you need them for that Storm's defense to try to go against his run.
That's going to be a big loss for the Florida secondary. Daniel Wright has been a really sound player for this football team. Nonetheless, 2nd and 6 here. So we're going to see Utah trot back out onto the line. We'll go over the offense. We'll call out the offense's names here in a second after this play here. Utah, a joker set here. They're going to hand off again, sticking with the run game, going to Salmons, following some blockers, getting caught up right before the first down, but nonetheless setting up a 3rd and short.
Another great run. These runs are really simple. They're running these ISO blasts. They're going right between 69 and 68. The center and the right guard. They're pushing out that defensive tackle, and that middle is wide open.
Another heavy set here for Washington. Running to the left side is Dean. He's got the first down. Another first down. Moving the chains again is Washington.
And they are setting the tone. They're controlling the clock early by running these footballs. 2nd, first down. They have not passed the ball yet, but this will be a great time to do that.
We'll see if they do 3 wide receivers. Utah tossing it out to the right. What a good block on the outside as Salmons hits the sideline, going all the way down to the other side. Man, I got to tell you, this run game is looking sharp for the Trident early on.
They're mixing up tosses to the outside, runs to the inside. That time, what a block by your tight end right there. That was your wide receiver, Shane Kaufman, kicking out that cornerback there. I love the right tackle with the pancake block. They're setting it up with beautiful blocking on the outside so they can go back in there. It's only a matter of time when they're going to be looking for that passing game. The play action is going to be there.
We see Utah under center again here, approaching near the red zone here, Anthony. Again with this set, it looks like a doubles left. They're going to toss it out to the left side. And how about the move by Christopher Dean? A little shake and bake on the outside, picking up another first down, Anthony.
And they're staying in this 3 wide receiver set. So what makes it really tough for the defense is they can pass in this formation, but they're going to just run a sweep to the strong side. You got to pick up on that. Maybe send some pressure from the outside, send pressure to the strong side to try to force that running back to cut back inside.
Again, this time we're going to see a triple right formation. They're going to hand up off of the middle. This time it's going to be to Salmons. They're going back and forth. Executed perfectly as Salmons picks up 6. Let's introduce this offense here for Washington. Tommy Utah's under center. Dwayne Salmons and Christopher Dean are the halfbacks. Julian Gusters is the fullback. King Alexander, Johan Sutherland, Terrell Cooper, and Shane Kaufman and Phil Cause are all wide receivers, and Azami Mahada is the tight end. We'll get to the offensive line after this. Handoff to Dean. Going to be stopped just shy of the sticks, and that's going to be a 3rd and 1 for the Trident.
And once again, keep it on the ground. They are pushing them back here. The clock is moving. They are setting up a statement. This is playoff football. You run the football throughout the whole year to get this setup right here, and they're doing a great job, that offensive line.
3rd and 1, handoff to Salmons, and he's going to be stuffed, but not until he gets the first down. 1st and goal, first drive for the Washington Trident in front of their home stadium, Anthony, and they're already in a 1st and goal here.
1st and goal situation, this is where things get tricky, right? So you don't have a lot of room to maneuver. Like, I'm staying on the ground, and I'm running the football right at them. They are missing a linebacker in Jesus Smith, and you're starting to see that they're missing him a lot.
Joker set here, handing off up the middle, fights it to the end zone! Washington Trident put it on the board early. Christopher Dean is in the end zone for 6.
And you know what they did? They ran right after where Smith was supposed to be at there. Nothing fancy on that drive. They said, run the football. They can't stop them. We're getting 4 to 5 yards on every single run. Why pass the football and give them an opportunity to pick the ball out? We're going to just run smash mouth football all day unless they can stop it.
And just like that, Anthony, you got to imagine the home crowd is excited, right? They are excited. When you come out and you run the ball 11 times in a row, Anthony, not one pass, you are establishing dominance at the line of scrimmage, and that's exactly what the Trident just did there.
And you know what's very important? They watched film this whole week. They had a week to prepare. They recognized that there's something light up that middle, and they're missing a key linebacker there. So we're going to say, hey, we're going to test out the backup. We're going to see if they can actually stop them, and they didn't that time.
We talked about it as we see a nice little return. Nice move there, getting out to the 26. It looked like it was going to go for more here for a second. But we talked about it, right? Florida's down Jesus Smith. Daniel Wright goes down. Washington's coaching staff looks at that and says, let's run the ball this entire drive, and that's what they do. Now we talk about the other side, right? The Florida Storm coming out. Covert under center here. Isaac Covert looked pretty good this season. Let's see what he's got to offer here. 3 wide receiver set as he sends 1 in motion from right to left. And that's going to be Shea Carroll coming in motion from right to left. I formation behind him. He's going to go dive up the middle, or a nice little draw play for 2. And I believe that's going to be Boletsky on the carry, brought down by number 54 on the defense there.
And it's going to be tough for Florida here. You're talking about Washington, top 10 in rushing and top 2 in passing. They don't give up the ball passing or running the football, so it's going to be interesting what you do with this offensive formation.
Split Joker set here. He's got 2 backs behind him. Covert's under center, awaiting the snap. He's got to get something. He gets it out to the sideline. Nice play there. Nice stiff arm. And nice job by Chris Comasack, the fullback. I believe an all-star, if I will say so. Gets out to just a yard shy of the first down here, I think.
I love it there. Stretch them out to the side here, so then you can just run back up the middle. This is the key 3rd down right here. You want to go up the middle there. They're showing you that they can.
Oh, toss out to the outside and choosing violence. It's going to be number 36 there. That's a good run there for Florida, but nonetheless, getting the first down, that's the hardest part, right? Especially after a long drive like Washington. Florida comes out, gets that first down out of the way. Now they're moving the sticks, kind of settling the crowd down. 3 wide receivers for Covert. He's got 2 to his right, 1 to his left, and a single back in the backfield. Covert is under center. He's going to send Shea Carroll in motion again from the right to left. It's got to be something that they see. Toss out to the right side to Boletsky. No! Makes a man eat some dirt and gets out to the sideline, picking up the first down. Man, it is a great job by Chris Comasack on that carry.
That number 61, the guard, backside guard pulls across there. I love the patience of the running back. Wait till your lineman get out there to make a block, and then you just follow suit. And then you have your big wide receiver on the other side making blocks. Both teams decided to choose violence today, and I love it. They're just doing smash mouth football.
Took the words out of my mouth, partner. I was about to say, these teams are seeing some throwback smash mouth football here. Covert's going to hand it off to the right side, and this time it is Boletsky picking up 2, setting up a 2nd and 8.
It's so nice to see it because in this offensive league that we have here, this pass happy, everybody wants to throw the ball. We're seeing 2 teams saying we're going to run the football and we're going to assert some type of dominance in this game.
And they're putting, you see it early on, Anthony, they're putting Komisak in a lot of these sets as the lone back in the backfield. As we're going to see Covert fire down the field. The first pass of the game is overthrown, trying to look for that Ron Haynes connection that's been so good for the Florida Storm in recent memory. Anthony just overthrew him.
And Mike, this is so key. You need to get 6'5" Ron Haynes involved with it because you want to stretch the field, and so you can run the football when you can, but you want to get Haynes in that passing offense going.
Bunch set to the left here. Covert's going to roll out to his right, try and find a window, and broken up by the defense. Number 24 gets a hand on it. That's going to be Albert Begin making the pass breakup. That's a big 3rd down for Washington's defense.
That's a huge 3rd down, especially with Florida coming in today, number 1 in the league with 3rd down conversion. You saw it earlier in the drive, they converted it. Good job making the adjustment by the Tridents here and forcing them to punt the football and not getting them in field goal range.
As we see the punter back to punt here. The return is going to go out to about the 15-yard line. I believe that was Marcus Agrippa. And we're going to see Washington get back out onto the field. Now, Anthony, put your coach's hat on here, right? You just had a smash-mouth football drive down the field, 80 yards it seemed like for a touchdown. What do you do here? You stick with the run?
No, you take a shot. You absolutely take a shot wherever you can. You know you can go back to the running. You can get 4 to 5 yards and run. You're in this formation that you run the football in. I would pass it here. Show them something different.
All right, here as we see Utah take the snap, and they're going to keep with the run game, and why not? Hitting the sidelines as Salmons all the way down. I got to tell you, it seems like these running backs can do no wrong, Anthony.
Well, you saw what Florida just did. They sent pressure because they were thinking that it was going to be up the middle, and it wasn't. All they did that time is they sent their offensive lineman on a pull to the outside and picked up a key block and got another 1st down.
Obviously going to be a huge conversation at halftime in the coach's room. I would imagine in the locker room that's going to be a big discussion. We got to defend. Our corners got to play contain on the outside, shut down these outside runs. In the meantime, we're going to see Utah under center here. This time they are going to go draw up the middle, mixing it up a little bit for a gain of about 2 there, setting up a 2nd and 8. Francis on the tackle.
You got to look at it. Charles Michaels at your center. You got Bill and Phil McMillan with the guards there, and they're running right behind them on those runs. And then when they want to pitch it to the outside, like this strong side, they need to be able to defend it because they can just hand it right to them.
Toss out to the outside to Salmons. Another stiff arm hitting the sidelines. He's been so good. Down the sideline. I mean, this has been some of the best running I've seen to date.
And let me just be honest with you. They're running towards the backup linebacker. Number 51, Mike Vrabel, is the backup replacing Jesus Smith. That's inactive today. Such a key loss, and they're going right after the backup, and that's exactly what you do. You find a weakness in the defense, you go right after them.
8 carries, 96 yards. Not some bad stats for the first quarter, eh, partner?
Not at all.
See it, Utah under center here. Again, the same look. 3 wide receivers. Kuhn was left, 1 to his right. They go stick with the run game. We haven't seen a single pass from Washington in the first quarter yet. They're going to pick up 4. That's Christopher Dean on the carry. And you mentioned the offensive line. Just want to give them a quick little shout out on this offensive line. And actually, we'll get back to that after this play. 2nd and 6 here. Joker's set here for Utah, and they're going to hand off up the middle. And they're going to say he was short of that. Salmons is just shy of the first down.
And yeah, big tight end say here, 31. I don't expect anything of passing at all. I'm looking to run right up the middle. You got a fullback in the backfield. They are really light in the box. I only see about 5 or 6 in the box right here. That left side ISO run is going to be open for him.
Nice handoff to the outside. Christopher Dean. It seems like this ground game can do no wrong, Anthony. I mean, what does Florida got to do?
They have to stack the box. They have to give up the pass at this situation because right now, Washington is not passing the football. So I need to send blitz. I need to send multiple blitz to clog up all those holes right there so you can stop this run because they're going to just keep going.
Handoff up the middle. Salmons got to roll his way over. 2nd and 3 now. I don't think there's any intention to pass the ball anytime soon, I got to tell you.
No, they're going to now probably go out to that just big double tight end set. You're getting closer to the red zone here. You know where the run is coming. They're running off of those guards. You have to get to the point and attack quicker.
Handoff up the middle, and the blocking's just executed perfect as Christopher Dean picking up that first down here. And I mentioned the offensive line who's been doing an incredible job. Probably good if we say their names. So the tackles are going to be Dakota Butts and Scott Pancake. The guards are Bill McMillan and Phil McMillan. And the center is Charles Michael. They've done an excellent job so far in the run game on the ground as Utah's going to toss it out to the right side. Nice little stiff arm by Salmons, but this time Florida's defense was a little bit better in the containment.
And the thing is, Florida's rushing defense was 12th in the league. They're giving up under the league amount, which is 100 yards a game, but they already gave up a 100-yard rusher in the first quarter alone.
Again, another draw play. This time, Dean kind of bottled up there at the line of scrimmage. They're going to say he picks up one. Tomiello getting in there and really bringing this down. This Florida defense has got to catch on to it.
Yep.
And that's going to do it. That's going to do it for our first quarter. Anthony, it might be the fastest first quarter in SFL history. Welcome to the SFL playoffs, folks. Wild card round. Mike O'Neill here, Anthony Ellison. Anthony, tell us what Florida's got to do defensively in the red zone.
This is in Florida's favor right here. 3rd down. They're going to pass the ball here. You got to make sure you're covering the flats. That's so important.
Utah takes the snap, fires across the middle, cut! In the end zone. Terrell Cooper coming up with a grab. 1 pass, 1 completion, 1 touchdown. Tell me Utah stats through the air right now.
And you throw it to your tallest receiver, 6'5", that's going to be able to catch any ball that the quarterback makes a mistake on. You can just throw it up there. They're going to reach over and grab it. And that happens because it was open. They ran the football so much that they was able to get those passing lanes when they need to. 3rd and goal, that was a time that Florida could have stopped it, and they didn't. And they scored another one and take a 2-score lead.
And look, I got to tell you, Anthony, these are two teams that have made their way to the playoffs, right? We are in the pinnacle of the season right now. We're looking at some top teams. So I know that some Florida fans are maybe watching this and trying to see if their plane tickets are refundable, but pump the brakes, right? This is the Florida team that can get back in it at any moment.
This is a Florida team that can score points in bunches, so you don't count them out. But they need to put urgency on this offense here. They cannot get this ball back and give it to Washington to run it down and kill clock.
Let's go over this offense here for Florida. Isaac Covert under center. Bullet Boletsky and Chris Komisak are the backs in the backfield. Art Vandelay, Mike Twinscrew, and Shea Carroll are the wide receivers. Ron Haynes is the tight end. And we'll see here, get the offensive line. The guards are Joseph Wade and Greg McDonaldson. We see Covert under center here, 2 wide receivers to his right. He is going to fire across the field. Wow, what a pass to Ron Haynes, finding the middle of the field. And you got to say, that is what they needed on a first down, Anthony.
Yeah, I think they couldn't go back and forth running the football. I think they need just some type of explosiveness. I love it. They recognize that Ron Haynes was on a mismatch with the safety. Great job with the post route there, and then show the big palms, the big target Good first down pass when everybody's been running the football.
So a 1st and 10 there was a beautiful pass there by Covert. We're going to see the same formation here. 2 wide receivers to his right. He's going to send Mike Twinsker in motion from right to left here. Make it a little bit more of a balanced formation. And Covert's going to toss it out to the right side. Has some room. He's going to get it up to probably about 4 yards shy of the first down. It's Chris Komisak.
Yeah, that time the guard did not really hit anybody. You got to make sure when you pull out there Joseph Wade, you want to get a hit there. Good job by that linebacker to shed the block to make a good tackle.
A little bit more of a heavy set here for Covert under center. He's got 2 backs in the backfield. Gonna toss it out to the left side, and all over it is the Washington defense. That was Rodney Panani coming in and making the big play.
Big defensive end. 4-time All-Star right there. What a way to stay home on that pitch play and made a tackle.
A little bit of urgency here. We got a bunch set to Covert's left here. It's Covert got some pressure. He's got to get rid of it quick. He finds, oh no, he tried to get it to a receiver downfield. But man, how good is this defense? Albert Bergen on another crucial 3rd down breakup, Anthony.
Remember, this is a number 2 in the league pass defense. Albert Bergen, which is number 1 in the league in interception, is time it perfectly. When you play that strong safety position, you got to make sure you hit him right at the point of contact when the ball gets there, or it's going to be a pass interference. Good job stopping them, forcing them to punt the football.
And look, I don't want to be a downer here. So we see the nice return here, nice spin move there for Washington, get it up to about the 25. I don't want to be a downer here, but there's got to be some urgency on Florida's side, right? On the defense, if you're a Florida fan, you got to look at this and say, we need to shut down this run game any way possible. Florida's got to get Washington into a long situation. Am I correct on thinking that, Anthony?
Yeah, you need to go into more of a bear front. You need to get some more defensive linemen. Recognize that this is a pitch play, and you got to go attack the pitch.
Oh, they go handoff up the middle. Ooh. 5 yards, which ironically, 5 yards actually might be one of the smaller first down gains that they've had this evening.
Just a little wrinkle in the offense there. Normally they show the pitch play, and they just ran it right up the middle. Now they're more in a traditional big set formation.
Yeah, heavy set here. 3 tight ends on the field for Washington. They're going to go handoff again, and that is what you're looking for if you're Florida's defensive coordinator. Tackled in the backfield for a loss of 1. Just couldn't get past the defenders.
That's exactly what you're looking for. Help defense there. You got somebody that shot through the gap and made the initial tackle, and then somebody else came to help out and clean it. Now they're going to pass the football. Last time in their formation, they did a nice little slant route with their 6'5" receiver.
Florida's calling an audible on defense here. Bunch set here for Utah. Gonna take the snap, drop back in the pocket, fire. No, man. Gets it out to his receiver for a first down. That one stings if you're Florida.
That really is, because you're about to get the ball back, get them off the field. They showed a soft shell cover 2 right there, and they passed it beautifully timed right after it got past the defensive back. Looks like that person in the flat came there late, and right before the safety can lay the hit. Now they can just go back to running the football. They got the first down that they needed.
Utah under center here. 1 back in the backfield. We've seen this formation quite often here as they're going to toss out to the left. He's got wide open, wide green pastures in front of him. And Salmons again with another first down. Massive run.
And a massive block that looks like it was number 81, Phil Koss, on the slot was there. Blocked the cornerback about 10 yards down the field, and it was just an easy walk through for a first down.
We're going to see Utah under center here again. Another formation, a single back in the backfield. They are going to go with that toss again to the outside, and this time it's Dean getting it out there for a gain of 5. Let's go ahead and introduce this defense here for Florida. On the defensive line, we've got Deontay Stoneville and Alessandro Tamaello and Pete Mitchell. Inside linebackers, Ryan Tobin. The corners are Ryan Davidson, Evan Carroll, and Adam Jones. And the safeties are going to be Daniel Wright and Andrew Francis. As we see another third down here for Washington, Florida's got to make something happen.
Definitely want to get some pressure, try to get a sack to knock them more out of field goal range. It looks like Washington is wanting to run the football here, so you got to start sending some blitzes, clog up that hole.
Yeah, that's going to be a stop for the Florida defense, which they desperately needed. Adam Jones coming in, the corner coming in, and really getting a huge stop for defense.
A corner that's third on the team with 78 tackles recognized that it was going to be a run and just blew it up in the backfield. That's fantastic defense there, holding them to a potential field goal.
Control on the attempt. It looks off the post. Off the post there. Washington coming up empty. That is a big loss if you're Washington, but that's a big win if you're Florida.
That's exactly what you're looking for if you're Florida. You stop them on third down when they've been running the ball effectively. And now the kicker misses a rare drawback kick that hit off the post. You're going to be getting the ball back closer to the 40-yard line. Now this is when you need to attack the ball down the field. Put some pressure on those linebackers guarding those tight ends and the receivers.
Covert under center, going to send the fullback in motion from the left side to the right side. He's got two receivers on that side, one receiver on the left side. They're going to go handoff up the middle. Nice pickup of 3 with Art Vandelay getting his first carry. You know, we like to see that they put the wrinkle in there, the wide receiver in the backfield quite often, Anthony.
Yeah, you're starting to see that more just for like the acceleration that these wide receivers can get off the break is definitely needed to put some different wrinkles in the offense.
Toss out to the left side and just scrapes by a tackle, picking up the first down. Oh, Chris Komisak really doing some good work on the ground.
Yeah, and that was just a tough pursuit, like a bad pursuit by number 44 right there. And good job widening it out on that run and make sure you don't get tackled. A good first down. That's what Florida needs. Between the missed field goal and a defensive stop, first downs, you want to try to keep this clock going and push the ball down the field.
3 wide receivers for Covert, 2 to his left, 1 to his right. He's got 2 backs in the backfield. They're going to go draw play up the middle. Nice job for second effort as Beletsky getting up to about 4 yards shy of the first down there.
Now, Mike, watch how this could easily be a flip of possessions here. So they get the ball back at half, right? Florida got 4 minutes left. You want to score here? And then you get the ball back, and you could definitely go and tie the game up. But the first thing you need to do is score first.
What a stiff arm picking up the first down is Komisak. Yeah, Anthony, I believe we call that doubling up. You get that touchdown at the end of the drive. You end the half, and then you start a new half, getting the ball back and doing the same thing. And we're looking at a 14 tied apiece ball game. That could be very, very interesting. But it all starts here on this first down. Draw play up the middle. Really getting some good separation off the line, Anthony.
Yeah, they're getting really good push up front here. They're mixing in a little passes when they need to. This is what we expect Florida to do, and this is exactly the right timing after a big key stop here. If I'm Washington, now I need to start sending some more pressure.
Covert gonna pass, back in the pocket, nice wide open receiver. That was a great schemed route, getting it out to Mike Twinscrew out in the flat.
And that means you need to have time in the pocket. Good job staying in that pocket. The offensive line did a phenomenal job to be able to get to that out route. But you know what? He moved a little bit over to the target that he needs to and delivered a beautiful strike. Keep this going.
Yeah, you got to love what they were doing, right? They used the run to set up that pass there, getting Washington to stack the box, bring everybody inside. We're going to see another heavy set, 2 tight ends on the line here for Covert. He's going to send Twinscrew in motion from the left to the right, making an unbalanced formation. He's got a back in the backfield. Covert's going to roll out to his right. He's going to get it to Ron Haynes, breaking a tackle up the sideline, putting another man in the dirt back there. And Ron Haynes, that is a great schemed up play for Florida.
What a block by number 89, Shane Carroll. You don't see this in the stat sheet, but look at the hit on number 24. And then Ron Haynes was like, look, you're too little, 24. I'm going to run you over. They got momentum now, getting closer to the red zone.
the awareness by Shea Carroll to take that wide receiver out of the play there and spring Ron Haynes another 10 yards downfield was beautiful. Covert under center here. 2 wide receivers to his right, 1 to his left, single back in the backfield. They're going to go handoff and Rodney Panani. I believe actually that was Nathaniel Diggs on the tackle there, getting in the backfield, but nonetheless, great job by the defense.
Yeah, what a way to slow things down when all the momentum was going to Florida there. Great hit. Now we're in 2-minute warning.
We've reached the 2-minute warning for the first half here. Washington up 14-0 at home in front of their crowd here. And thank you guys for joining us on Wild Card Weekend. This is been a great time. Mike O'Neill, Anthony Ellison here in the booth. JW and Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Cameron Irvine producing. You see Covert take the snap here. Gonna try and hand off to the left side. We'll get a gain of 1, but McNeely making a good tackle there.
This is big here. 3rd and 10. Yeah, field goal is fine, but you don't want to settle for a field goal here. You want to get 7 points. So this is going to be key. If I'm Washington, I'm pushing back a little bit, guarding that first down line.
Covert rolling out to his left, firing into the end zone, broken up by the defender. The secondary has been really good.
Oh.
We do have a penalty. An eligible receiver downfield, Anthony.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you do those rollout plays. The linemen have to be careful, know where the line of scrimmage is, so you don't want to make sure that doesn't happen.
We're going to see a 28-yard attempt here. And Snead is going to sneak that one in. Florida's got some points on the board. Got to think that, maybe it's not what they wanted, Anthony. But look, you come out here, if your Florida defense can come out here and play some defense here, you're getting the ball back at half.
Yeah, and you know that you can play defense because you force Washington into a field goal after giving up 2 touchdowns there. So you can. So it's going to be about getting key turnovers when you can.
I think the big thing, Anthony, I think that's kind of going unspoken right now is the tackling from the outside, the containment unit on Florida's defense. The corners coming in to make tackles. They've got to do a better job. You got to get 2 to there. You got to get 2 to the ball pretty often.
You have to shed those blockers, but Washington is doing a great job blocking on the outside. The receivers are not getting the targets, but they're making big blocks that's springing these runs.
Yeah, it's a really impressive ground game here for Washington. If Utah's going to toss it out to the right side, and that's going to be a very, very good job to hold them to 4 there on that toss play. Salmon's only picking up 4.
And the outside, the linebacker there, Ryan Tobin, has to recognize that run earlier and get to the outside because that's 4 yards. That adds up. 4 yards, get you a first down.
2nd and 6 here. Heavier set for Washington. Gonna go with the run outside and blown up. 3rd and 6, lots of 2. That's number 29 getting in on the action. Evan Carroll, another corner in the run defense.
And good job by the outside, containing the run, forcing it inside where your rest of your defense is there. This is a big 3rd down here because if you can stop them, I'm calling timeout.
Utah in the pocket, looking to the right side. Oh, he's got a man over the top. What a play. Down the sideline is Terrell Cooper into the end zone for 6. And if you have that on your bingo card, congratulations, because you're a magician.
What? That is the worst case scenario in that situation. Number 31, Roy Williams, you're in the last line of defense. You cannot try to go for the interception there. You have to knock that down. What a play. Take a shot down the field. You never know what can happen. And that's exactly what we just saw there. A strike at the end of the half here. Going into the locker room, they have to be feeling so good right now.
I got to tell you, Anthony, as coaches, you look at this, right? I don't know if there's a better example from recent memory in the SFL of using the run to set up the pass than what we just witnessed.
Yeah, and for people at home, what does that do? Is when you run the ball so effectively, now your defense is looking in the backfield, and then the receiver's going to have 1 to 2 steps past the defense and be able to go over the top. So when you have a good running offense, it makes your passing that much easy.
And you talk about Roy Williams. Let's go back to the safety on that, right? You talk about Roy Williams playing strong safety back there, as we're going to see a return here for Florida. A nice break there, a nice spin move there for Vandelay, getting it past the 30. Great effort on that. But you talk about Roy Williams playing strong safety there, right? And his job, essentially, is just to be the last line of defense, like you said, Anthony. You know, just playing, essentially, just trying to keep everything in front of him. But he went to undercut the ball to try and intercept the ball, trying to make a big play, putting everything on his back, and kind of got burned.
We see that way too much. People want to get the incentives. They want the money. I understand that. You got to take care of yourself. But you also got to play smart awareness. There's nobody behind you to help. You got to knock it down. You got to make a tackle.
We're going to see Covert under center, handoff up the middle. Boletsky getting a good 4 yards. Setting up a 2nd and 6 here for Florida.
Yeah, and I think this is the right thing to do. You don't want to try to force it, and that's where turnovers can happen. You want to get to the locker room. You want to look at what adjustments you can make.
You got to regroup. We're going to see one more toss out to the left side. Tomasak getting the first down, but that's going to do it here for our half. Anthony, that was a pretty quick half.
Yeah, when all the running that we got there, it was just constantly the clock kept on moving, but we see Washington dominating the football on offense and defense, but it starts with that running game and then just pushing the Storm defensive line back.
All right, so break this down for me as we're in halftime. I want to give a shout out to, again, Ron Haynes, JW, and the Stats Truck, Cameron Irvine, producing for us. Wild Card Weekend's kicking off, but let's focus on this game here, right? Because Florida's down 21-3. We know Mighty's a proven coach. We know that he's been able to figure things out. Put your coach's hat on. If you're in the locker room for Florida right now, what's your message to this Florida Storm team?
That we have 2 quarters left of our season, and we need to give it not even 100%, 150, 200%. We got here for a reason. We're in the playoffs for a reason, so we need to start acting like it. We need to be aggressive, and we need to leave everything out on the field.
We're going to get a quick injury update here. And probable for Daniel Wright. So we may see Daniel Wright come back in here, but it's a tough loss, you got to say. Tough loss for the defense of Florida. And we welcome you guys back here to the Pacific Northwest, the beautiful state of Washington. The Trident are up 21-3 against the Florida Storm. If you're just joining us, Washington's ground game has been the epitome of successful. As we're seeing a return out here to about the 33-yard line. We're going to see Covert under center here. Washington's ground game's been essentially perfect, and you know who else has been perfect? Utah, essentially. Only a few passes, but he's got 2 touchdowns under his belt.
2 of his 3 completions have been touchdowns, and I love when your quarterback doesn't have to carry the weight when he doesn't need to. When you have somebody running the football, they ran the ball 29 times, and they had the ball 3 times there. That kept Florida's offense off the field.
1st and 10, Covert. Let's see what halftime adjustments have happened. Covert going to fire downfield. Oh, he looks across the middle, trying to get it to Ron Haynes as tight end. I like the idea, Anthony.
Yeah, you need to put up yards in bunches, because you got to think about it. You only had the ball 3, maybe 4 times in that whole first half. So you got to think about it. If you do the math there, you're not going to have a lot of opportunities to get points. So you need to get them quickly.
We're going to see another 2 tight ends set here, 2 wide receivers to the right side. Another pass attempt for Covert, getting it out to the sideline. It's a good job. Get your players out in space. That was Tomasak, who's been really good in the first half, just shy of the first down.
I like it. You don't have to always throw it deep. You have somebody in the flat, check it off there. You go through your progressions, 1, 2, and then you dump it off there and get as yardage that you need.
3rd and 3 here. Split Joker's look. They're going to toss it out to the right side. Blown up by Washington's defense. Number 20 getting in on the action, and that was Mark Coffin, the corner, coming up and making the big play.
And you know what? You don't have to be the biggest tackler there. The corner, what he did was he stayed on the outside, saw the sweep coming, forced the running back to go inside, ran into his lineman, and then the team came to help tackle.
Great punt coverage by the Florida Storm. Holding Washington to just about a yard or two on that punt return. And now this is the big thing, right? This is what we're looking for after the half, Anthony. Florida's defense comes back out onto the field, and what adjustments have they made? That's the question you're asking. What adjustments have they made to counter this run game? So we're going to see that same formation. Look for either a toss outside or a draw up the middle. Utah under center. Going to toss it out to the left side. Again, that first tackler missing. And picking up 5 is Sammons.
It's yards after the contact too. Like you said, the tackle's there. You're reading the play out. That's number one. Now number two, you have to make the tackle. But once again, Mike, that's the backup linebacker.
Oh, great job on side of Washington's offensive coordinator. We're going to see a handoff up the middle. Nice stop there. Good run stuff there. As Christopher Dean's only going to pick up a few. It is going to set up a 3rd and short.
And you see head coach Robert Thumb, what he's doing is, look, we're going to run after the backup there that's taking the place for Smith today, and we're going to see if he can make plays. And right now, he's having a tough time with the one-on-one tackling.
3rd and 2 here. Utah trying to continue this ground game. Can Florida's defense shut it down here? Number 43 is going to go in motion. That's Azami Mahada. He's been quiet. Utah going to pass this time across the middle, overthrown. Florida gets a stop on defense, and just like that, Florida can get the ball back.
And I understand what Washington did there because they've been running it on 3rd down really effectively. So they're trying to catch them off guard there or overthrow. Florida, a rare opportunity. This is the first punt, I believe, today for Washington. This is a chance to get some good field position.
Rugen back to punt. Going to be a good one. And hang time under it. Going to down at about the 24, and we're going to see Covert coming out. Smash that like button. Like this video. I'll say it again. Like this video. We're in the wild card round here. Please support our hardworking crew by smashing the like button, subscribing, and commenting on this video. It really helps the channel out. Turn on notifications so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thanks for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the SFL. We're going to see Covert back under center here. 1st and 10. Covert trying to pass, and no, intercepted! Oh, the fumble! Florida got the ball back, bailed out by a good hit. Somebody's playing defense whenever they're not normally there for the offense there, Florida. And that's a great job by Florida.
So essentially nothing happened. 1st down, Florida, and we're going to act like just nothing happened.
A lot of wear and tear on the vocal cords for nothing. For nothing happening there. Anyway, 1st and 10 here. Sounds like I've almost said this before for Covert. He's going to chuck it out to the sideline here into the flat, and Washington's all over it. Gain of 3 for Beletsky, but Washington kind of saw that coming.
But just talking about it, Shea Carroll with the forced fumble, and then the quarterback itself, Isaac Covert, were able to recover it, and that almost was a disaster for Florida.
Heavy stat here for Florida. 2 tight ends. They're going to toss it out to the right side, and man, again, playing defense. Again, comes in. He's had a really good game today.
Yeah, sniffing out the toss play and going right after and making great tackles. That's your safety. They are in the box for a reason. They're a high tackling machine, and that's what Beggins has been.
Covert taking the snap, looking to fire downfield, and he had a man downfield. It could not connect. It seemed like the look was there, Anthony.
Yeah, it was, but it was also a better just defense for Washington, because what you're going to see now is more passing the football from Florida because you need to get some points up.
We're going to see the punt here for Florida. And it's going to be downed. Oh, nice broken tackle. Getting some space here, and good job there by Phil Cause returning that kick.
Now Washington, you had your 3rd and 2, you overthrew the football, but to be honest, I haven't seen Florida consistently stop your running game. So I want to just say go back to the ground game and let the clock burn. Let Florida do something different on that running attack.
You might be right, partner. We're going to see a first-time bunch set here on first down. Utah awaits the snap here. And nope, he's going to toss it out to the right side. Cuts it back inside. The Salmons picking up a good 6 yards in first down.
And this is just a coaching aspect about it. You're seeing that you don't need to have crazy multiple formations. They're running the same 3 or 4, but they're just doing different things out of it. Bunch formation, instead of passing it, we're going to do a pitch play. They're showing different things from the same formation.
And a great job by the secondary coming up and making the play. That was Andrew Francis coming in and making the hit. That's a 3rd and short here again. We could see Florida get the ball back again, Anthony.
3rd and 2 last time for Washington was an overthrow. Maybe this time stay on the ground and get that first down.
Dude, oh no, Salmon's breaking a tackle, getting out to the right side. Man, what a play there. As Adam Jones had to chase him down after not being able to make the tackle.
And when we point out what was the key to this game, we're going to say it was bad tackling. It was breaking tackles. Washington getting so many yards after contact because the first person on the defense is not making the tackle.
Yeah, that's always a tough thing. If you're a defensive coordinator, you've got to get those tackles. So we're going to see a toss to the outside. Christopher Dean taking it past the first down marker, and this is just a masterclass on the ground, Anthony.
These arm tacklings are not going to work. They're running through it. This time, number 53 trying to do another arm tackle, and it's just a stiff arm. To get another first down, stay in bounds, and this is the domination that we've seen in the first quarter for Washington. Keep it on the ground, just keep on running it.
Utah going to hand it off up the middle there, and for the first time, the defense for Florida is all over it. They're only going to pick up 3 there, but haven't seen the middle clogged like that.
Yeah, they sent more people up the middle. That was a good job recognizing the run earlier this time, setting up for a big formation.
2nd and 7, Utah going to hand it off again in the backfield, blown up by the defense. Tom Aiello was all over it. Loss of 2 here. We're going to see a 3rd and long here for the Washington Trident.
So on their first down plays, they like to run the wheel route on the outside. You just got to recognize over the middle, that big post can be open.
Utah taking a snap down the middle, trying to hit the seam. It cannot do it. Broken up by Francis. That's a great stop for Florida.
We saw them not do that on the touchdown. This time around, they recognized that they had less field behind them, so they took a chance. They were trying to get the turnover there, but regardless, knocked it down. And now Washington is going to settle for a field goal. Good job by the Florida defense not giving up.
James Stroll 1 for 2 on the evening. Or sorry, 0 for 1. Let's see if he can go 1 for 2 here. And he boots it through. It's going to be 24-3 Washington, and finds himself up here at home.
So now Florida, you're looking at the clock. You really haven't put together a complete drive. You did get that field goal there. You're still in it. This is not over, but you definitely now gonna have to start pushing the football down the field, which could lead to interceptions. You got to be careful. You threw one last drive. You want to see you can keep it safe, put it outside the numbers.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see Covert do a little bit more through the air.
Yeah, and you're going to have to now to make up the points here. So you want to push it more in the air. You just got to be careful throwing it into double or triple coverage.
The 1st and 10 here. Covert under center. He's got 2 tight ends to his left. He's got 2 wide receivers out wide, 1 on each side. Covert in the pocket. Gonna get Ron Haynes past the sticks, and that is what you're looking for right there.
Yeah, you want to get your tight end involved. You want them They tried earlier in the first half. On a linebacker, that's really easy for Ron Haynes. Been doing this forever. So good job passing football off a first down here. That's what you want. Big yardage, quickly.
Nicholas Warner, top 10 in the league for tackles, but maybe not so much in coverage. As Covert finds Ron Haynes again past the sticks. Ron Haynes 2 for 2 on this drive.
Yeah, came in today in the league, 51 catches, which is really great for the tight end, averaging 14.3 yards a catch. And right there, you know, it's a linebacker covering Ron Haynes. That's going to be trouble all day.
The 2 first downs back-to-back for Florida. Covert under center. We're going to see the line split apart here. 1st and 10. 2 wide receivers to Covert's left, 1 to his right. He's going to toss it out right, and that is covered up, but somehow, Comisac fights forward for 3.
Here's the difference between the two teams. When Washington gets a tackle broken, there's 2 people right behind that defender. And that's why they're shutting down any type of play after contact.
Have your set look here, toss out to the right side, and blown up at the line of scrimmage. Couldn't get there. Again, Begin has been so good.
Yeah, and Begin, this is a strong safety coming down into the box and flying to the ball, forcing it inside, causing problems on that the run offense all day.
You can hear the crowd here in Washington. Covert's going to roll out to his left, fire, tries to get a backside post there, but coverage was all over it. Ryan Cook had it smothered.
We're seeing why they are number 2 in the league in passing yards allowed. They only give up 193 passing yards. The league average is 231, and you're seeing it blanket coverage.
Florida looking to punt it away here, and not what you want if you're a Florida fan. That's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. We'll see Washington trot back out.
Washington, now Florida, you got to start showing signs of aggressiveness, but this is basic fundamentals. Tackling. You're getting to the football quickly. You're recognizing the plays, but you're not making the play, and they're really going after Mike Vrabel, the backup for today.
I got to tell you, I don't know if I've seen a better 1-2 duo at making the first person miss on the outside. We're going to see a handoff up the middle, and that time it's smothered there. Gain of 2 for Salmons.
Yeah, and they've just been breaking tackles, stiff arms. I haven't seen this many broken tackles in so long, but Salmons and Dean is doing a phenomenal job.
Absolutely. We're going to see 3 tight end or three wide receivers here for Utah. He's going to toss it out to the right, and there we go again. First person always misses with Salmons and Christopher Dean. I mean, this is unbelievable. 3rd and 6.
So when you're doing these tackles, you have to drive at the hip there and try to push them back. They're just doing too many arm tackles with their head down, and that's not how it's going to work. This is why you're giving up almost 300 yards on the ground rushing.
Big 3rd down here for Florida. Toss out to the right side for Washington. Oh, cuts it inside. Salmons knew the lane that was going to open up, and he took it, and that's why they've been so successful now.
Recognizing that the outside was going to be taken, I love the cut back there. Cut back, and then they bounce it back outside. The patience, seeing your blockers and what the blocking is going to do, and another 1st down keeps Florida's defense on the field.
We're going to see Utah under center here again. A fresh set of chains for the Trident, just trying to continue things on, and great tackle there with the defense getting in and making a play. Andrew Francis on the tackle.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do anything else but run the football unless you're in a 3rd and medium situation, because right now this has just been their bread and butter.
Yeah, it's been pretty tough to stop. I mean, you're looking at it, and it seems like Florida's playing so soft on the outside in coverage, and they're just taking advantage of it. Handoff up the middle. Salmon's picking up a good gain. It's going to be his 3rd and short, 3rd and 3 here.
Yeah, and this is going to take it into the 4th quarter, and this has just been total control by Washington.
And just like that, folks, third quarter coming to an end here. Put your fours up in the chat. Mike O'Neill, Anthony Ellison here in the booth. JW and Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ producing for us. Appreciate you guys hanging out here. Wild Card Weekend kicking off. We got another great game tonight and some more good games tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a little bit, Anthony. We're going to see a third down here. 3rd and 3 for Washington. Utah under center. Going to hand it off to his left side and fights for it. Gets through. Picking up the first down. Salmons has been, I don't think he can do any wrong.
Yeah, and this is if I'm not mistaken, this is their 7th third down converting. And they're doing it simple. Running a halfback lead off the tackle on that left side. The fullback went to the outside. I love the patience and cutting it back in. Salmons is having a playoff career game right here, and it's not over with yet.
Yeah, we just got word that Daniel Wright has made his way back out onto the field, so it's good to see for Florida's defense. Maybe he can create a spark here for this defense. We're going to see another first down for Washington. We're going to see Mihata go in motion from left to right. They're going to toss out to the right side and smothered. Picks up a few. Ends up with about a gain of 4 here, 2nd and 6.
And the clock keeps moving. Once again, they're bouncing to the outside. They're running on the inside. So even though they're not passing the football, they are doing different plays that's making Florida guess.
3-in set seems fitting for the occasion. Handoff up the middle, stuffed right before the first down. Another 3rd and short this time. Can we see Florida's defense make a big stop here?
Send an all-out pressure. Force them to do bounce outside or run into their linemen, but just sending 4, you're having trouble getting the penetration that you need.
3rd and short here, handoff up the middle, and Christopher Dean's got a wide open lane. Just unbelievable. You got to give credit, Anthony. The offensive line, look, it's one thing to say we're just going to run the ball down our opponent's throats. It is another thing to actually have your offensive line execute.
And a lot of times, the offensive line doesn't get talked about unless they're giving up sacks and they're not playing well. They need to get all the love right now because they are literally pushing this defensive line back 2 to 3 yards every single time.
Nice bounce out to the outside for Salmons. Picking up a good gain of 6, setting up a 2nd and 4, and there you go right there. You see it, Anthony. Dwayne Salmons today, most rushing yards since October 22nd of 2023. That is unbelievable.
Doing it at the right time, the playoffs, where everything counts, is loser goes home, and you bring your best performance.
And off up the middle, stop just shy, 3rd and inches again, and this seems almost like clockwork.
This is like a accelerate, just a big version of chew clock. It's no point in passing the football. You don't need to. You're in control. Florida has to start thinking about, we need to blitz all the time to stop it.
And they will get the first down. I got to tell you, looking at this, does it not feel like Washington's offense kind of feels like just a well-oiled machine right now?
They're built and they look like a playoff style offense. When it gets colder outside, when things are just grimy, you can run the football and get those much needed yardage.
Tossed out to the outside, like skifty spin move from Christopher Dean. And man, I know that's a cliche to say, the well-oiled machine thing. Trust me, I know. But I mean, this is the exact example. If you would think of a well-oiled machine, I mean, it's almost like they're converting the exact amount of yards at the exact same time over and over and over again. We see a 2nd and medium here, which has been pretty common. 2nd and 5 as we're going to see a handoff for Salmons. And what do you know? 3rd and short.
And I know if you're a longtime Storm fan, you recognize you had success a couple years ago, winning the championship and everything, and then seeing this happen. This is something that you will make adjustments for. You will get more beefier on the defensive side, but just losing Smith hurt.
And Christopher Dean getting it up to about the 7-yard line. Kind of a 1st and goal for Washington. It really feels like they can't do anything wrong.
They can't stop it. This has been some of the best blocking I've seen, especially this year. But it's been phenomenal. They recognize that they can push this front four of the Storm with ease, and that's what they do. That's why there's no point in passing the football.
First and goal here, Washington trying to put another touchdown up, and oh, big hit there. I guess who? Daniel Wright coming back in the game and said, you know, I had a little bit of rest.
Yeah, anytime you can get a spark, that's exactly what you want. Maybe a forced fumble there. You want to cover the football. Second and goal.
Second and goal here. And you see how far off these corners are playing. Right, Anthony? You see this. They're handing off up the middle, and they're shut down. Great play there by Wright again.
I don't know why you're playing so far back, because they haven't shown that they want to pass the football. So you need to be up at the line, pressing and getting off the blocks to make the tackle.
Third down here, firing out to the back of the end zone, and touchdown. So Ralph Cooper at the back of the end zone, Utah. That is impressive.
Yeah, and then when you play that far back and then you still let the receiver get behind you, there's 3 people over there. That's unacceptable. But Washington is saying, hey, I know you hear us in the booth. We can pass the football. We're going to show possibly the next team, the score stays like this, that we can be a balanced offense. But right now, it's just been a running game.
Utah today, 4 completions, 3 touchdowns. So I don't know what that gets you on your QBR, but I imagine it's pretty good.
It's fine for fantasy.
If you're playing SFL fantasy right now, Utah is your guy. Although he doesn't have much yards. So, I mean, he made from the one big play. Going to return out here from Florida. Nice skip on for Vanderlei. Getting to the outside, the sideline. Getting it up to the 48. Where's that been this whole game?
Yeah, I know. And you know what? I appreciate teams not giving up. Doesn't matter if the score seems like it could be a little bit out of hands. You want to make sure you try to leave with some type of positive note going into the offseason. There's going to be changes in the offseason. Players are going to go. Some players are going to come. New teams are going to pop up, maybe. So it's just going to be something that you want to focus on.
First and 10 here. Just getting word from the stat truck that last drive for Washington, Anthony. 18 plays.
That's a long drive.
Now, and pass, caught, drop, picked up by the defense. You got to think they're going to challenge it.
You have to, because that's unfortunate. You get a good completion. I don't think he made a offensive move. You have to catch the ball. And you got to be able to make, I think, 2 or 3 steps. So that'd be a good challenge.
We see a nice challenge here. The coach over in Florida. And yeah, anytime you see those, right, the player's got to make a football move, and we'll get another look at it here. But by first look, Anthony, it didn't really look like anything.
No, it looks like it's caught the ball, and then great tackle, but it just you gotta let them catch it and make the offensive move.
After review, the play has been ruled an incomplete pass. The receiver did not have possession of the ball prior to the fumble.
Yeah, they're going to turn this over. So, Florida, incomplete pass. So, you got to think, if you're Florida right now, Anthony, I mean, look, if it were me, I'd come out 5 wide. But what would you do?
Yeah, it's you want to score a touchdown, right? You don't want to leave with not only scoring a field goal here. So just throw the football, see what happens.
2nd and 10 here. Covert going to hand it off up the middle and blown up by Begin, who has been all over the field. He's been pretty much sideline to sideline. They're going to go hurry up here pretty early here. 3rd and 6. Covert. Fire in. Caught. No. Dropped. And that was, I believe it was Nicholas Warner on the coverage playing underneath for a linebacker. He did pretty good.
Yeah, and they are delivering big hits today, just jarring the football loose. This is the right call on 4th down here. You realize you're getting towards the end of the game. And you want to keep the ball on your side.
Play action for Covert. He's got pressure behind him. Fires to the right side. Oh, can't complete it. Covered. Trying to get it to his wide receiver. That was Shea Carroll, the intended receiver, but man, the defense was all over it.
And you're seeing why they are number 2 in the league in passing. This is going to be a problem for the team that they play next if the score stays up, because they're going to have to try to figure out ways to do different route combinations to get your receivers open, because Florida had problems all day getting open.
So 1st and 10, imagine that Washington's just going to keep this on the ground here as they're handing off the middle, following some blockers, and finding 3 yards in a pile of seemingly no yards is insane for Salmons.
Just making something out of nothing has been the theme today, and to have both of your running backs over 100 yards rushing that's something that you dream about in the playoffs, and they made it come true.
2nd and 7 here. We get to see Utah awaiting the snap, and after this, I'm going to talk to you about some future games coming up. Later tonight, the Denver Night Wings welcome in the Baltimore Vultures in a battle of former champions as SFL Wildcard Weekend continues. Kickoffs at 9 p.m. Eastern with Eddie Gage and Michelle Colston on the call right here on the Virtual Football Network. Anthony, got any thoughts or any predictions there for that Denver-Baltimore game?
I always ask for competitive games, right? And that's what I ask for. That's what I hope for. I think those two teams will be airing it out a little bit more. We'll probably see more of it coming down to the wire. But I want to pick a team. I don't want to show any bias, but I just want a competitive game for everyone.
Absolutely, and fighting for the first down. Another first down from Salmons. This is just, it's a masterclass. I don't even know what to say. Deflated is not even, I don't even think it's strong enough of a word for explaining what the Florida sideline is right now.
It hurts because you know you had so much energy coming into the game, and you knew that this was going to be a tough matchup, but you're both in the wild card for a reason. You both made the playoffs for a reason, and you just came out flat from the start, and they exploited the big hole, which was losing one of your star linebackers in the playoffs.
Done a good job here on the ground. They're going to hand off again this time to Christopher Dean. But here's a fun stat for you from our stat truck. Salmons has more yards than Florida, outgaining the Storm 207 yards for Dwayne Salmons, 160 total yards for the Florida Storm.
And I guarantee you every single time that happens, I know who's winning the football game, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
2-minute warning here, folks. Mike O'Neill, Anthony Ellison, JW in the stat truck, along with Ron Haynes and Cameron Irvine back at SFL HQ. This has not been what we expected, but hey, all you can do at this point, Washington has really answered a lot of questions, I think, Anthony, coming into this game, right? Washington, we knew that they were hot. A 7-1 streak we talked about as the handoff's going to go to Salmons. Florida's going to start using timeouts. We knew Washington was good, Anthony, but does this kind of take it to another level for you? I mean, we're talking about, 300 yards on the ground.
I didn't see this, and I didn't know this was coming, but this is something that it makes them a problem going forward in the playoffs.
It's interesting because whoever they get next, you're probably going to stack the box, right? And we've seen game plans where Washington can air it out. Salmons on a nice stiff arm to the outside.
And that it makes them so dangerous because they can pass the football. We didn't see their offensive sets. So now when you're going to watch film, what is the team going to do? They're going to say, hey, we're going to put more in the box and we're going to stop the run. But then Washington's going to show you that they can pass the football. So this right here, Florida didn't get them to pass the football. It's going to make it tough for other playoffs teams.
And Troll missing that one. He's 1 for 3 on the evening. That's tough. You don't want to see that if you're Washington, but
no,
Florida getting the ball back.
especially when games are closer. You need your points. You need to make sure that your kicker can come in through the clutch, because sometimes you're always not going to have 31-3 football games. You're going to have to get down the field goal range and rely on them.
So 1st and 10, Florida just trying to walk off with a little bit of pride at this point. Covert back in the pocket, finds his receiver, Ron Haynes. I believe that's one of the only receivers to catch the ball tonight for Florida, as they really haven't been able to spread it around much.
You know, I had problems with that all day because of the blanket defense from the Tritons.
Covert under center. We're going to see this quads look once again here. We're waiting to snap. Covert going to fire across and again gets it to another, I believe it was Ron Haynes again on another reception. They're going to stay in this set. They like this formation. They're going to keep it again. They're going to run the same thing over again. They're hitting him just inside of the numbers here, as we're going to continue to see Covert, this time inside of the red zone of Washington, and again into the end zone. This time it's twin screw.
And you love that they ran the same play because they saw that the defense was playing in that more looks like quarters type of coverage there, just running past the seam. And that's, you know what, I'm happy for Florida. You want to be able to say, hey, we can pass the football. We just had an off night. But getting a touchdown when you work this hard to get to the playoffs is always nice to see.
That was pretty tough if you're Florida, because at one point you're saying, where was this the entire game? Right? Where was this pass play the entire game? Because it kind of felt like Florida was trying to use the run to set up the pass the entire night, and they should have been going pass first. We're going to see the onside kick recovered by, we're going to see, I don't think it traveled the distance.
Yeah, I don't think it traveled 10 yards, but that's a good effort.
We're going to get a re-kick here for Florida. Another attempt here at the onside, and gets a good bounce, but no, it's taken back, and no, can it be taken back all the way? Now, Christopher Dean tries to take it back all the way, but going to fall just short.
Yeah, I thought we were going to see it all, a run back on the onside kick there, and this has just been, and Mike, we've been saying it constantly, just an impressive performance by this Trident team going into the next round playoffs.
Unbelievable. I'll tell you what, if I'm in the wild card, or if I'm in the quarterfinals, I'm looking at Washington as one of those teams I don't want to beat.
I don't want to play them right now until I can see a little bit more on film. Maybe I'll see them in the semifinals, or they run into a team that just is ready, because we don't know how their passing is. We've seen there's a couple of touchdowns, but there was one broken coverage, and two, it was the only plays we saw. I think he threw the ball maybe 5 times today, 6 times. So we really didn't see what they have.
So as we're just seeing Washington kneel it out here, we talked about Denver, Baltimore later. Got Chicago and Arizona tomorrow, Sin City and traveling into Pittsburgh tomorrow evening after that one. What stands out to you? Which game? What are you looking forward to? What are some things? Give some viewers some things to look out for over this wild card weekend.
As I look through this wild card weekend, I'm excited, to be honest. I'm excited to see Sin City in Pittsburgh. I think that can be something that can shake things up. They might be looking at playing the Washington team. I'm also looking at the next game tonight. So stick around and watch it. Baltimore and Denver. Those are 2 teams that scrapped their way in. Baltimore 6-6 and Denver 8-4. And one of those teams are going to be moving on. So hold on. We got another game that's going to be really exciting.
You heard it there. Stick around, folks. We got another game coming, but this one, all Washington. 432 total yards, 215 over Florida. Washington getting the win, 31-10. Anthony, do I need to ask who your player of the game is?
I'm just going to go ahead and just make a guess. My guess is Salmon. Dwayne Salmons with over 220 plus yards and just in dominant fashion. But shout outs to Christopher Dean breaking every tackle in the world as well. And what a performance by this Washington defense.
Unbelievable job by the Washington coaching staff. And for Florida, they're looking to next season. For Mike O'Neill, Anthony Ellison in the booth, JW and Ron Haynes in the stats truck, and Cameron Irvine, thank you guys so much. Stick around for the next game tonight.